Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Madrid Sevens, and we are getting to the business end of this competition, the bronze medal final taking place between Fiji and New Zealand. Looking through at the Fijian starting lineup, it will be Georgie Nisova, Sevu Mothanothangi, Jeremiah Matana, Ponipati Loganamasi, Jerry Tuwai, Waisia Natongu, and Tera Walangi in that starting lineup as well. For the New Zealanders, Moses Leo, Regan Weir, Tony Nashu, Dylan Collier, Coolio Rokalisoa, Scott Curry, and also Joe Webber. Blackfern Sevens gets the bronze. They certainly do. Just getting themselves the win over the Canadian woman there. Nice, says Gary and Hyle and Hamish. And also New Zealand Sevens beat Canada women 26 points to 14 to take the bronze in that last game. And of course, we have still got the bronze medal final for the men's taking place between Fiji and New Zealand. Both of these sides losing in their semi-finals, and they both lost by the exact same margin, 21 points to 14. Now, both of these sides have also taken Ireland to golden point time throughout their group stage fixtures. They've been very similar in a lot of regards, but when the first time that these two sides went head-to-head, the Fijians were able to get themselves the victory. Well done, NZ girls. Says a Blues Nate. And there as well. So yeah, they are going to be awarded the bronze medal. And then we are going to get to see the Fijian and the men's side for New Zealand in action. Maybe New Zealand, we've seen them get gold and gold for the men and women. Maybe we see them get bronze and bronze in this competition. But of course, Argentina versus France will be the final that has taken place in just over 1 hour's time. Do let me know who you think will win this game, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that they've gone with Jerry Tuwai in the starting lineup again here for Fiji, I think is pretty beneficial, although I would have loved to see Tario Tamani actually get himself the start in this game, particularly up against New Zealand, to use his pace nice and early. I see that they haven't gone with Leroy Carter in the starting lineup for New Zealand here either. So I think both sides saving a little bit of extra skill and a little bit of extra X factor on the bench for these games. Morena Kiwi Lads whānau, says Nazi Williams. Welcome in, mate. If you are enjoying your evening / morning now, I guess it is, for us here in New Zealand. Certainly been a long day, that is for sure. The eyes are starting to look a little bit bloodshot, but I only got 3 more streams to go before the end of the Sevens weekend. 19-12 to Fiji, says bystander. Yeah, I think in the end I predicted 21-19 for New Zealand in this game over the Fijians. So we'll see whether or not New Zealand can right their wrongs. Of course, what cost them the game in the first matchup that did take place between the two sides was actually that Fijian conversion at the end from Ioane Temba, who isn't actually in the starting lineup for this game. Instead, he's going to be coming off the bench the last 5 meetings. New Zealand have actually won 3. Fiji have won the most recent one and won a few legs ago. 9 Carlson not going to be available off the bench here, but they have got Ioane Temba, Nodovalo, and also Vailawa as a few X-Factor players. No Andrew Newstub for the New Zealanders due to injury, but they do have Rush, Vi, Cook Savage, Carter, and Dixon. Fiji by 14. Says a Blues Nate, and also love Fiji, but my heart's always Aotearoa, and also Marina Naz there as well from Nate. Both sides now making their way out onto the field, ready to go for this contest. The next game that is happening after this one will be the matchup taking place between the French and the Australian women for the final of the women's side of the draw. And then, of course, we have got the men's side of the draw with Argentina versus France and the overall final. New Zealand, they've had 2 wins, 2 losses, one of which of their losses was actually up against the Fijian. There's only been 1 loss for Fiji so far throughout this competition. They were perfect in their group stage, and then went on to lose that game in the the semi-finals up against France. Like that was just said, mouth-watering game when these two sides go head-to-head. Paulo Duarte is in charge of this 186th match on the series for that man. And the ball has been run out onto the halfway line. High five going to Akulio Rokalisoa there from the young ball boy. Now making his way from the field. But Fiji will want to start this one extremely well. We have got there before game start how you highlight another's username to respond. Normally just with the @ symbol and then with their username. Does seem to work, although it depends on what you actually use. I think that if you're on phone, it doesn't work, but if you're on PC, it does, or something like that. I think there's some sort of thing that means that it only works on certain devices. That one is now be taken down. But normally if you just write their name, Nars, luckily chat doesn't really go quick enough that they won't get to see it anyway. Looks like Fiji have actually dropped that ball just outside of their 22. Looked like a relatively simple catch for Jeremiah Matana, but it just goes straight through. And now New Zealand given the perfect opportunity. We have got, wow, Hamish, lovely commentary. Sorry, I only made it home 5 minutes ago. Says Ruth, welcome in. You did have a great day at work. Of course, now coming to a close. And dunno, says Naz Williams. Kulio Rokalisoa goes across to Weber, who's actually decided to go for the grubber in behind. Hits the post, and Regan Ware unable to clean that one up. I think they want to check this. To first of all see if there's an illegal tackle or a dangerous tackle actually coming in from Regan Ware on Jerry Tuwai. But then I think they also want to check to see if Tuwai has hit that ball dead on purpose. Okay, it's hit Regan Ware in the head. Then, okay, it's going to be a 22 dropout as it is a no try. And that one, what a day, hectic. Like a non-stop match commentary, says Ruth. And I'll say, yep, that works, Nars. Says the Blues, Nate. Sorry, guys, a give up game on. Although, by the sounds of it did actually work. Maybe you can't see it with it working, but maybe everyone else can, Nars. In that case. All 6 matches between these two sides have been decided by less than 7 points, which is a pretty impressive stat to have, but New Zealand just out from their own goal line now. It was a massive 22 dropout from the Flying Fijians. Joe Weber trying to break his way through, looking at Marcy's tackle attempt, but he has been dragged down there. Now Regan Ware goes with the pass on the outside to Dylan Collier, out to Moses Leo, tries to test out his speed. And again, good tackle made by Fiji on the halfway line. And Kulia Rokalisoa now going off to Curry with the skip pass. Out wide finds Joe Weber again. Tries to fend. Almost driven out by Natungu, but keeps the ball alive. Kulia Rokalisoa looking for another gap, and he has managed to find it. Got the man with him, show and go, and gets the pass away to Weber, but they do not score there, New Zealand. I think Rokalisoa got a little bit overconfident there. Ended up making the mistake. That could have cost them the try, but it looks like it's not going to. New Zealand still to score in the corner. Or do they? They just want to check this one again here to make sure that there is a grounding. I'm absolutely shattered but relaxing. And now with Crisps and Gin listening to Kiwi Lads Rockin', says Ruth. See the replay here of Moses Leo. And that is the try. Great finish from the number 13 for New Zealand, and they will now take the lead in this bronze medal final. Leroy Carter, my boy Akata. Come on, boys, says Ruth. Also, Hamish looking absolutely fantastic again. I don't know about that, Ruth. One of my eyes, this one here, as you can see, it is pretty badly bloodshot, but that is due to a lack of sleep over the weekend. Of course, we have covered a lot of hours of rugby. I think we've done about 6 rugby union games and probably about 15, if not more than that, in sevens. We've probably done about 20 hours of commentary over the last 3 days, just around the normal numbers for ourselves. 4 minutes remaining in this first half. New Zealand have so far had 17 passes, 3 offloads, 6 carries. Fiji have not touched the ball as of yet, with the exception of that knock-on. Now, Fiji have made 1 tackle, but they have missed 3. So statistics not in their favour at the moment, but they are one of those sides that stats don't really matter because they can still win themselves games no matter where they are in the contest. Logan Amasi, he's going to be tackled. No clear release there from Joe Weber. They do take it quickly there with Waisia Natongu. Listen, if both of your eyes are red, still be fabulous. Says Ruth. Now Georgina Sova moves it to the halfway line. Logan Amasi has to play halfback here for the Fijians. They are looking to fire it out to this right-hand side. Natongu. Got away Matana. Jerry Tuwai, another offload. Offload on the inside again there from Fiji, and Natongu this time will score the try. Fiji back into the match, as we knew eventually they were going to be able to do. At the end of the day, they are Fiji. They know how to come back in a contest. Hopefully the scoreboard does update very soon, but currently we are at a stalemate with both sides sitting 5-5. Like they just said, as soon as the ball went to Jerry Tuwai, then there's normally a bit of a concern for the defensive line. Natongu moving up in the try scoring sheet again. I think you made him blush, Ruth, says Gary there. It made my eyes blush because they are, of course, very red at the moment. But that kick is unsuccessful. It's going to make the score now 5-all between these two teams. You know, when it gets to that hour of being awake, or when you wake up in the middle of the night and you get a drink of water and it's just really, really good. I feel like I'm at that point of my evening at the moment. That is going to be well controlled by New Zealand. On their 22 at the moment, but Fiji putting a lot of defensive pressure on them. Actually forcing Rokalisoa backwards. Tries to go through a gap. He's eventually going to be taken down by Georgina Sova. Now Scott Curry going to go through the hands of Joe Weber. Tony Nyashu, a lot of pressure on him by Seven. Muthanathangi is all over him at the moment. Now Scott Curry goes to the short side. Joe Weber. He has got Moses Leo with him. And he does go to him. I thought for a second he was just going to try and run it all the way himself. And you're doing well there, buddy. Says Roof. If both eyes were red, that would mean stoned. Says Nuz Williams, but Fiji in position. They have managed to get the turnover on the halfway line, and now Logan Amasi's got plenty of space. And try number 2 for the Fijians, working their way towards that bronze medal here. There's a third try for Logan Amasi in this Madrid Sevens competition. Of course, they've only played 5 games, including this one. It was Jerry Tuwai who managed to create the counter ruck there for the Fijians. And then the assist goes to Natongu. Him at the moment alongside Jerry Tuwai are just such a dangerous combo out there on the field. Boom, my eyes don't look great. Head buzzing from Solid Day at the shop. There's a roof, and that kick is going to go over now from the Fijians. Fiji failed to make the cup final in the season. 7 series season for the first time ever in 2024. There we go. That is quite an interesting stat. Like they've just said, the only final that they have made was actually the Olympics. Or they think that the only final that they'll make is going to be the Olympics, sorry. Was the comment there from the commentator. 15 seconds remaining in this first half. Looks like Natongu's day is actually done. He's made his way off the field a bit earlier. We would have thought. I love Fiji that much. But they one team. I don't mind beating New Zealand. Says Naz Williams. And come on, New Zealand, make Novmum happy and win this. Says Blues Nate now down the wing. Regan Ware wins the foot race at the moment, the way that it's going, but he does need support. Or does he? He goes on the inside, then the outside. Goes away to Collier. And he scores the try now for New Zealand. Right at the end of the first half. This is going to make the score extremely close. Going into the second, I believe we're going to be sitting 12-12. Last time that these two sides played, it was the kick that made the difference. We might be relatively close to that same sort of result in this contest. I believe my prediction was 21-19. So I don't believe that can actually happen with where we sit, unless, of course, there were some penalties. And level it up, boys. Says Novmum. And also New Zealand have to pull it back. Come on. Don't let it slide, says Ruth. At 12-10 at the moment. At half-time, New Zealand actually missing that kick. That is a big hit for them because it was relatively close out in front. They are just showing an ad for the Olympics. Of course, that is going to be starting. And I believe it's late July. There we go, July 27th. as when the Olympics are going to be starting. And the Sevens is actually relatively early on in the procedures. We'll be covering all of the Sevens, or at least most of it on the channel, I should say. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like, of course, and subscribe. Currently, there is a game taking place. How many games? Oh, sorry. What I was going to say is there is a game taking place in the Cricket World Cup between West Indies and Papua New Guinea, but I have no idea who is winning. I might check that at the end of this game. How many games left on the schedule today, Hamish? We have got 2 more. We've got the women's final and the men's final. And then after that, I think I will be heading to bed pretty quickly after that stage. That is if I make it to bed without falling asleep on this chair after the live streams first. James Hamish, are you going to sleep like a baby later? I'll get to sleep like a baby for a little bit, but then I do have to get up probably early afternoon so that I am able to get some editing done, as well as I think George is coming around to film, so we will end up doing that as well. So it's probably going to be maybe tomorrow night that I get to catch up on a little bit of sleep from the weekend. They are currently showing New Zealand celebrating that bronze medal. They are doing the selfie. Moses Leo, though, get himself a try in the first half. In fact, the first try for New Zealand in this bronze medal final. Fiji kicking off from right to left, and it is Ioane Temba who does kick it off long, trying a different tactic, and it looks like it's going to be effective at the moment. New Zealand only 5 metres out from their line, having to try and attack deep within their own territory. Regan Weir tests out his step, but this time Fiji have managed to handle it, and they have managed to get themselves the penalty as well. Ioane Temba takes the quick tap, goes to the short side there, straight through. Brilliant attacking run there from Logana Masi. Now, I don't think Ioane Temba was ever going to be passing him the ball, but it was that attacking run that actually caused New Zealand to get drawn into him. And then from there, Ioane Temba relieved some of the pressure off that man, and it made him go straight through the gap. But Fiji now having the lead, and this contest 17 points to 10, as we see there. Kulia Rokalisoa caught in between 2 Fijians. Joe Weber was not able to stop him either. Go the All Blacks, says Alau Philly there. And that one is going to be missing away to the side. So that still makes the score 17 points to 10. So we have seen New Zealand miss 1 kick. In fact, no, sorry, we've seen New Zealand miss 2 kicks. We've seen Fiji also miss 2 kicks throughout this game. That's 4 points that both of these sides could have extra. We have to remember those numbers because, once again, Fiji kick off long. This time he's got way too much on it, though. And it will go back to halfway. Where New Zealand will get the possession. You can see frustration on Ioane Temba's face. Last time it worked, but this time it did not. French toast are pretty lethal, hey? Dupont brilliant as usual, never disappointed. Yeah, he's been very, very strong in the Sevens competition. I think he single-handedly was the reason that Fiji were defeated in that semi-final. I think for Argentina, they had Graziano's hat-trick as well as Rodrigo Isgro. And now we get to see those two go head-to-head in the final. Now scrum feed for New Zealand on the halfway line. They are currently 7 points down. Rokalisoa going off the back, goes away to Moses Leo. Currently a little bit of sun on the halfway area. Across the field, low pass, nicely taken by Regan Weir. Flicks it out to Leroy Carter. He's going to be well shut down by the Fijian defensive line. New Zealand back on their own 22. So territory in this game has been a lot more in favour of the Fijians than we saw in their last game up against France. And I feel like that is something that they were definitely wanting to improve on. New Zealand, their position throughout this bronze final has been pretty solid. Hamish, if you're a coach for an international team, Dupont, Aaron Smith or Faf, depends on which international team I'm a coach of. If I'm international team for France, Dupont. If I'm international coach for the All Blacks, Aaron Smith. And if I'm international coach for the South Africans, of course, you would go with Faf de Klerk. That one's going to be the forward pass from Leroy Carter. Drifted forward a little bit there. Currently handling errors is sitting 2 from New Zealand, 1 from the Fijian Barbars. Says bystander, is it during an international window? Like what we've had the last couple times. Poor Leroy wrapped up like a prawn sandwich. Says Roof, and it looks like a few more changes are being made for both sides. Dylan Collier making his way from the field for New Zealand. And Fiji have also made the 2 subs. Trying to find a way over the try line for maybe what would only need to be one more time. Fiji wins bronze, says looks. Yeah, it is looking very good for the Fijians. Definitely because they've got the scrum feed. Oh, that's a big push from New Zealand, but the penalty does go the way of Fiji. They have said that the front row went up and then around. Hamish can upset happen. West Indies 85 for 4 against Papua New Guinea, requiring 52 off 36. Doesn't sound like a very nice wicket if they're only chasing about 130, and they haven't scored that quickly by the sounds of it for the West Indies. We have good there. Sorry, I didn't explain enough. No worries. We'll enjoy the stream. Says bystander. If I was just going off like a Barbars with everyone available, though, to answer your question, I just needed a bit of clarification in terms of who was eligible was the only thing. But in terms of if I went with an overall Barbars, it would depend a little bit on who you want in your backline, but you probably would pick DuPont off current form. And then maybe backup of Smith. If you're opting for more of a kicking game, though, you go with de Klerk. Now, running this one forward for the Fijians in the breakdown. Knock on the tackle. Then we'll go back for the original knock on. You have the spin-friendly wicket, very difficult to score runs. So here's Coding. And prawn sandwich. And Leroy not given space, stopped like a brick wall in front of him. Says Ruth. Looks like Curry is still nursing a little bit of an injury. He had one, I believe it was not last leg, but the leg before. And even during those games, he was still fighting through the pain to stay out there on the field and eventually scored New Zealand their winning try. Are you New Zealand? What are you doing? Am I going back to bed half happy? Says Nov Mum. Ria Valawa again, the feed. It's going to be there for Fiji. Got away to this left-hand side. Georgina Sova tries to step. Regan Weir again, just hanging on to the jersey. That was almost a tip tackle, although I think that was also in the way that he did end up falling down. The penalty does go the way of the Fijians. Okay, I think they were trying to ask maybe for the penalty there, the Fijians, in terms of something more than just a penalty due to that tip tackle. Just going to see a replay here. To be fair, Regan Weir kind of aired one leg off the ground of the Fijian, and then the Fijian kind of went with a dive downwards in terms of trying to recycle that ball. Currently 100 seconds remaining in this game. Fiji are up by 7. Now, if New Zealand were able to score and get themselves a converted try, would take this game to golden point. And of course, we have seen both of these sides in golden point already throughout this competition. Fiji, though, winning themselves the penalty there. Looks like Logan Amasi and Sam Dixon having a bit of push and shove afterwards. Bit of frustration at scrum time for New Zealand as it is not going well for them at the moment. Looks like they're going for the scrum. It's a final. It is a bronze final between these two sides. So the winner of this game will get third place. The men's final is just a little bit later on. And that is going to be taking place between France and Argentina. Still 7 points ahead. Come on, New Zealand, says Ruth. Yeah, 50 seconds remaining. And the last 3 minutes or so of this half have been occupied by pretty much scrum resets. So in terms of game management for Fiji, they won't want to rush this. They want to just get their ball in, get it out again, and keep it alive for as long as they can. But look at a must-see now. The kicking behind and playing a little bit of territory. That is a very good kick from Fiji. New Zealand will be inside of their 22 and they will have 20 seconds to try and score themselves 7 points. And even if they just score the try, they still have to get the kick over, which they have already missed 2 throughout the earlier stages of this matchup. To play a quick Savage now. Was getting ready to throw it in. Getting a little bit rearranged here. Now, to play a quick Savage goes into the front. New Zealand opting for the short line out. It's time's up. Tell the ref to blow full-time whistle. Says Lux. New Zealand need the converted try. That is going to be another quick tap there. Now going off to the left-hand side, Brady Rush in a foot race with Ponepate Loganamasi. He slaps it out of his hands. And the Fijians will win this game. They've got themselves the bronze. New Zealand will finish 4th. And there's a big smile on Ponepate Loganamasi's face there as he knocks the ball out of New Zealand's hands. And that is going to be 2 wins in a row for Fiji over New Zealand. Long gone are the days where New Zealand Fiji finals dominated. Says Anaz Williams, amazing how DuPont was eligible for France Sevens, but I guess Madrid is close to France. I'm familiar with the rulings, and I believe because he had already played some of the Sevens, he had a bit of it was a contract with Toulouse, which pretty much said he was allowed to play, I think it was 2 leagues, but he had to play for them in the Champions Cup when those games were taking place. So he was actually playing Union only a week ago, winning a Champions Cup final, and now transitioning straight back to the Sevens, which is pretty impressive. Oh, wow, what a sharp play. Says Gus Vanaka. Says Ski, but yeah, the Fijians managing to win this contest. 17 points to 10. So they will claim that bronze medal. Levi has got shut up. I'm not sure whether that's at me or it's someone else. Welcome in, Levi. Oh dear, well done, Fiji. Says Roof. And there as well. Here we are hearing there from the Fijian coach. He's pretty much said the team's still young. You know, it's good learnings for them. Being able to beat New Zealand twice in a tournament is something not many sides do get to say. So it is an achievement in its own right for the Fijians. But nonetheless, that was a big yawn, ladies and gentlemen. And the next game that we are covering will be France versus Australia in the women's final. That is kicking off in only 7 minutes' time. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. At Fiji getting the bronze, 17 points to 10. And we will see you all for the next one.